Welcome to Rambam in Depth. Today we'll be discussing the Rambam Hilchos Chiros, Perek Yud Aleph, halacha Daled, and halacha Hey, but mainly halacha Daled. Ha'omer l'shluchei, tzei u'schar li'payolin. This is talking about the lav, the negative commandment of delaying payment of a worker, called baltolin. So if someone says to his shliach, to his agent, say, go out, u'schar li'payolin, and rent workers for me. So now who is the one who's doing the hiring? Not the one who's going to be paying the workers, but the shliach. So the Rambam then says, Im amr lahem, if the shliach told the workers, Scharchem al balabayis, your pay, your wages will be paid by the balabayis, the one whom I'm representing, the balabayis, the owner of the house. So in that case, they're both not going to be violating the law of delaying payment. Why? This one, the owner, the balabayis, lefi shlei safar, he didn't hire them. The shliach, lefi she'ein pulas and etzlei, they're not working for him. He's not paying them. He's only the one who's hiring them, but he's not paying them. So they're both not over. They both are not violating. Now the Rambam says, ha'omer l'shluchi, if someone told his shliach, he doesn't say, ha'omer adam l'shluchi, a person can say to his shliach. So the poskim infer from this that the Rambam is saying that if someone did this, he's not violating, but he shouldn't do it. It's not right. Why isn't it right? So they say because the Rambam himself says in the next halacha, in halacha Hey, that if a person mashes har sacher ad achaz manai, if someone delays payment of a worker's wages until after they're due, he violated a positive commandment. The Torah tells you you should pay in time, and he violated a negative commandment. The Torah says not to delay. He has to give it right away, even though he already violated. And the more he delays payment, he's violating a negative commandment that is a rabbinical negative commandment. It's based on a verse in Proverbs. Shenemar, as it says in Mishlei, Al taimer l'reacha, don't tell your friend, Leich, you can go now, but she'll come back, I'll pay you later, to keep on delaying the payment. So even though he's not in violation of the biblical commandment, he's in violation of a rabbinical commandment. So the Pischei Teshuvah brings from a sefer that says that in this case where the person says the shliach to hire the person and the owner is going to pay him, even though he's not over a baltolin, which is the biblical violation, he is over on the rabbinical one. However, the Alter Rebbe, Balatanya, in his Shulchan Aruch and Chesha Mishpat, Hilchos Shiloh Schiris, Sif Yud Ches, he brings the Gemara in Bava Metzia that says that Gedolei HaChachamim, that the great sages, Hayaneigen Lischar Payel Meidei Shliach, they would go out of their way to hire workers through a shliach. Why? They shouldn't come to violate a negative commandment. Let's say they'll be very busy. They won't have time to pay the workers in time. And these sages didn't want to inadvertently violate this negative commandment just in case they'll be preoccupied and they won't pay in time. So what would they do to get around it? They would hire the shliach, the worker through a shliach. And as the Rambam just said, nobody is over. The shliach is not over, and the one who hires them is not over in baltolin. So from the Alter Rebbe, it seems clearly that there's no rabbinical violation. Why not? So it's clear, based on what Tosfos there says in Bava Metzia, that when are you violating the rabbinical law? Don't tell your friend to go and come back. That's only when he does it intentionally. But if it's because the person was preoccupied and was distracted, then he's not in violation of the rabbinical negative commandment either. Now, what happens if you can't do it through a shliach? The Shach in Chesha Mishpat says, in the name of Sefer Chassidim, that you could stipulate with the worker that you're hiring, that I'm hiring you with a stipulation that I'm not going to be obligated to pay you in time. Why? Because maybe when he'll come to pay the worker, when the worker will come to ask for his wages, he won't have any money. So in order not to be in violation, he stipulates that I'm not going to be obligated to pay you in time. That's the psak of the Shach. So the Knesset HaGedolah raises a question. If he doesn't have any money, there's no violation of Baltalin. So why does he have to make that stipulation? The only time you're ever in Baltalin is if you have the money and you don't want to pay it. But if you don't have the money, if that's the issue, then what's the problem over here? So why does he have to make this stipulation? So the Alter Rebbe anticipated this question, and the Alter Rebbe adds, if you can't do it through a shliach, you should make a stipulation, and that you shouldn't be obligated. Maybe he won't have ample funds to pay him. He'll have money, but and he has to spend them in something else. In other words, the Alter Rebbe is making a distinction. If he doesn't have any money at all, he's not over in Baltalin, and there's no need for a stipulation. But the concern here is maybe he won't have a lot of money, he won't have enough money, and he might spend it on something else. In that case, he will be over on Baltalin if he doesn't pay him in time. That's why he should stipulate. Another thing that the Alter Rebbe is careful in the language of the other poskim, they talk about the stipulation is that you shouldn't be over in a Baltalin. That I'm hiring you on the condition that I'm not going to be in violation of the law of don't delay payment. The Alter Rebbe changes the lashon, that not that I'm not going to be over a Baltalin, but I'm not going to be obligated to pay you. And the difference is, you can't tell a person I'm hiring you with the condition that I'm not in violation. You can't stipulate against the Torah. The Torah says you are in violation. But if it's a stipulation about money, a person could give away his money. So you're saying, I am hiring you on the condition that I won't be obligated, that you're foregoing the obligation. And if you're foregoing the obligation, I don't have automatically there's no violation. But if you actually said that I won't be over, then you're stipulating against the Torah, and that's not a valid stipulation.